Hello and good morning to you folks. This is Cliff Graves from Trainwell Boxing. I want to help you. I really want to give you some quality information. Okay? I don't want to palm you off with what others have just told you. So you keep desperately doing your searching. Just 1 second. Shut the old so I am in my PJs. It is Sunday. I digress. I want to help you. And as eccentric as you think I am, funnily dressed with his baseball cap on, the information I have, without sounding conceited or narcissistic in any way, shape, or form, excels over all the rest. So let's get straight to it. The summer holidays are coming along, especially for us Brits. That's why they call us mad dogs and Englishmen. We want to go out and we want to strip off, don't we? Show it all off. And we want to reveal our 8-packs, our 6-packs, our super fat, muscular, abdominal area. Men and women. It is frustrating. We have that stubborn belly fat that ain't budging. Now, there's a lot of reasons. And we're going to go through each one of these. The main reason is you've got to restructure your diet. Notice I said not cut down, because there's a very venerable professor located in New Zealand that says calories is a construct. They don't exist. And I'm not going to name who this person is, but let me tell you something. Sorry, excuse me. Let me tell you something. I value implicitly what he says. And if he says calories do not exist because of, then that is a given as far as I'm concerned. So we have to restructure how we eat. So how do we do that then? How do we do that? When we've got all this nonsense of this sugar diet doing the rounds at the moment, confusing people even more. First up, okay, ignore completely the sugar diet. It will really make you ill. Really make you ill. When you eat sugar, what does it do? It raises your blood glucose levels and also insulin levels. Now, I'm going to drop a few names in here that I really want you to go and research up on. Dr. Jason Fung, F-U-N-G, has said intermittent fasting is one of the best ways to restructure your diet. And I do agree with him. During this video, we are going to tell you how to restructure your diet. Losing belly fat ain't rocket science. You just got to know what to do and follow it implicitly. And if you do that, you will lose that stubborn body fat. It's as simple as that. Notice I purposefully haven't said lose weight, because people kind of link excess body fat with obese people. But you don't have to have that. You can be super lean and still have stubborn body fat. They just want a fuck to go. So losing weight is not necessarily the way forward. Body recomposition is. We would tell you how to do that if you stay with us. So let's deal with this hormone issue. Two main reasons why you will hold on to belly fat, excessive belly fat, is through to do with cortisol and insulin. Now, we've already touched on insulin. If you're eating too much sugar, it's going to raise your blood glucose levels. In doing so, running parallel, it will raise your insulin levels. You don't think your insulin levels are going to stay the same when your blood glucose levels elevate, do you? No, of course not. What happens is, just a quick biology bit now. When you eat something, insulin is released from the pancreas. It then acts as the carrier for the glucose within the blood to then go in, and then the insulin, as it were, unlocks the door so in can go the glucose. That is why when you raise blood glucose, you will raise insulin. And never more so, right, with eating sugar. So think of your sugary things that you eat. 3 or 4 teaspoons I've seen people do into their tea, cup of tea or coffee, especially here in Britain. You have the full English breakfast and you see them in the cafes, and they'll put into their mug of char, their mug of tea, 3 teaspoons, maybe 4. That's sugar. Straight off the bat, that is raw sucrose that you're putting into your body. But it goes further than that. Carbohydrates and fruits, and that means vegetables, will contain sugars. Now, I'm not a dietitian, I'm not a nutritionist, but I want you to tell me if I've got this wrong. You've got a plate of carrots and you've got a 16-ounce steak on your plate. Which has the most nutrition? Which has the most nutrition? The carrots or the steak? If you did a nutritional profile on the two, I think the steak would excel over the carrots like you wouldn't believe. Now, I'm not telling you to stop eating vegetables. I'm not telling you to stop eating fructose. I'm not telling you to stop eating carbohydrates, rice. But if you've got stubborn belly fat, you have got to restructure how you eat. You've got to restructure your lifestyle. So my advice would be to significantly cut out carbohydrates, cut out all processed food altogether, if you can. And yes, it is difficult. And yes, it is challenging. But you've got to make a decision what you want. Do you want that stubborn belly fat there? Or do you want it off? That's the decision you've got to make, and it is a tough one. But you've got to make it. Do you want it there or do you want it off? It's simple as that. And I think you've got to take that blasé attitude to it. It's either in or you're out. So you don't stress yourself out too much. For years, I was a stress bucket. For years. Even when I was doing my amateur boxing. It's good to be stressed, especially when you're going to get up in the ring and fight. But there comes a level when there's too much of it. And again, you will never lose belly fat if you are a stress bucket. So learn to chill. Learn to chill. I'm going to say this, and some of you might switch off right now. But I am a Christian man now. Never was until 2003. And it does say in this fantastic book here, it's actually a sin to worry. Because by worrying, are you dealing with the situation? Is the situation going away? You've got 10 grand to pay, for example. By worrying about it, sleepless nights, pacing up and down in your home, does that make the 10 grand go away that you owe? No. So, again, without being blasé, respecting that you owe 10 grand, worrying, becoming stressed doesn't achieve anything other than make you ill. Okay, in this example of 10 grand, what you do is you meet it head on. And you would go to your debtors. You would say, look, I am now with debt counsellors. We've got a program set in place. They are taking charge, as it were, of my finances, and they will be in contact with you with a definitive plan forward. Would you agree at? And most debtors will say, okay, well, we'll review it to be reviewed in 6 months' time, for example. What I'm trying to say to you is it doesn't warrant worry, because worry doesn't change the situation. If you're terminally ill, worrying about it doesn't change the fact that you're terminally ill, does it? Doesn't change the fact that you're terminally ill. Having a faith can help so incredibly much. And the Christian way of life, I can tell you, has helped me so incredibly much deal with worry and stress. So we talked about reconstructing your diet. Now we're talking about reconstructing your lifestyle, your way of thinking. The first thing I've said to you is stress. You've got to address stress. And you've got to not be blasé there like that. Yeah, so what? You've got to address it. You've got to address it full on. The issue. I go to God and I pray about things and I say, Father God, take over. Take this burden from me, for your yoke is wide. There's lots of atheists that listen in to my videos and they must, you don't believe in all that old nonsense. Well, yes, I do. Yes, I do, until you can give me scientific evidence. Otherwise, that God doesn't exist. I will continue to believe in faith. Faith is something of the unknown, isn't it? So, however you do it, you need to combat worry and stress. Stress. Using the word stress. Don't become blasé, cocky. Throw the red letter into the drawer and forget about them, like my ex-wife did. And I discovered 7 bills and had to pay 750 quid, over 750 quid. My ex-wife and my current wife. She's a little love. Just don't worry. If you're a Christian, hand it all over to God. That will decrease your cortisol levels right the way down, folks. We need cortisol. Cortisol is not our enemy, it's our friend. Because it says, if you're going to put your hand on a, if it keeps you in a state of readiness. You do need stress, but you don't need excessive stress. You do need cortisol, but you don't need excessive cortisol. Where you have to either take your issues to God or meet them head on in your own strength. Where you can, you have to do that. You have to man up, not be a lightweight, and sort it. The next thing that you can do, we've talked about intermittent fasting. Now, intermittent fasting is a personal thing. I am now transferring over very gently to 1 meal a day, OMAD. And I like to have my OMAD meal lunchtime. I work out, I go to the gym, I do my weights in a fasted state. early in the morning. I come home, I have a shower, and I rest. I go back to bed and I rest. I sleep. I sleep to about 11:30, 12 o'clock. I get up and I eat. Pre my workout and then my last coffee at about 3 o'clock, I have a specific coffee. It isn't bulletproof coffee. It's something a whole lot better. Proper coffee will speed up your metabolism through the roof. And so you need to get hold of the real stuff. Now I'm going to show you. Can you see that? So that's just the missus getting up. They always cause a lot of problems. I often tell her that I'm in here videoing, but she doesn't listen. This is pure green, unadulterated coffee, green coffee beans that have not been roasted. I do believe this company, Raw Bean, you can source and access your raw bean coffee beans from various sources, from various places: Kenya, Colombia, Brazil. We like Colombian coffee. I'm going to show you something that contradicts that in a minute, but we like the Colombian coffee, and we also like Indonesian. Okay, but you want to get hold. This is, I'm not telling you to buy from Raw Bean. I have no affiliations with these, by the way. I'm just a customer, like you are or would be. With this company, Raw Bean, okay, you know, I mean, train of thoughts there. These are unrehearsed, and I just come on being myself. I'm not trying to be something flash like some of them in some of these video presentations. The information that I give you is excels over theirs, but anyway. So you want to get hold of, firstly, some raw green coffee beans. So put into your search engine, green coffee beans. And then you'll receive something through the post 2 or 3 days later, like this. They do them in different weights. This is 500 grams. So your raw green coffee beans arrive, okay? The next thing that you've got to do is you've got to grind these coffee beans down. So you need to get hold of a coffee grinder. Just put in, because they are hard to grind, what you're going to use for the day. And I would recommend a tablespoon, okay? That will make you 2 cups, one for my wife, one for yourself. A mug like this, big mug like that, right? Okay. And you grind the fuckers down in the coffee grinder. Next thing, Go to your local supermarket. We shop at Lidl's and get hold of some filter coffee. Now, this one we like. You can see it says number 5, can't you? Sorry. Okay. You can see it says, that's where we want it, dummy. Yeah. You can see it says number 5. Roasted ground coffee. You do not want the coffee beans. You want the stuff that is ground. Okay. All right. You want the stuff that is ground. Filter coffee. We like this one. Number 5 denotes it is quite rich and strong in flavour. Now, these, when these are ground up, it would be like a green powder almost, because the coffee beans are green. I wouldn't now that I can't say I wouldn't. I'll say for personal taste, what we do is we mix a tablespoon of this now ground green powder into our coffee filter maker with a tablespoon of this stuff into our filter, and then you just filter and make your coffee, and it comes out delicious, delicious, delicious. Now, I can't drink black coffee, but I know there's a lot of people that can. If you can't drink black coffee, you want to get hold of some of this stuff. Obviously, if you're in the States, it's not going to be fresh British, is it? Okay. Again, this is bought from Lidl's, the fantastic Lidl's. I really rate that shop. I think they're brilliant. Aldi's are good as well, but I think Lidl's excel. And then you just pop it in, do your coffee to taste. And what I do is I go like this, and I'm pouring in 1, 2, 3. And that works out around about 30 ml. And when you look at what's in here, folks, you can see. You see, hang on. Look at the carbohydrates or sugars per 100 ml. That's what you want to be looking at. Per 100 ml. Can you see? I think it's 1.6, isn't it? I've said before, people like Dr. Fretty, the diabetic surgeon, says you don't want any more than 1 teaspoon, 4 grams of sugar a day. So you're well under. Reason why cream is it's a richer taste and it has less sugar than milk. But again, for taste, if you can drink this stuff black, even better. So it has something, I'm going to try and pronounce this word properly, chlorogenic in this stuff specifically. Not so much in the roasted, because this is roasted. And when they roast it, when they roast this stuff, when they roast the coffee, right, it does take out a lot of CGAs, chlorogenic acid. There are some in this, but in this, it's there. It's all in there. It's all in there. Trust me, it's all in there. Extremely high in chlorogenic acid, CGAs, folks. Forget about buying all your fat boosters. Forget about buying this thing that's a bit dubious off the internet. Save your money. If you can invest in some shite that's very dubious off the internet and you're prepared to risk your well-being and health, you could invest in this. You could invest in this. If you haven't got a coffee grinder, just go down to Argos or somewhere like that and get yourself a coffee grinder. They ain't going to be 3 million quid. You'll pick one up for about 10, 12 quid. If you haven't got a coffee filter maker, they ain't that much. They ain't that much. They ain't going to break the bank. You just need your filter papers. You get them from anywhere. Lidl's, Tesco's, Sainsbury's, Morrison's, anywhere you'll get them. And you should know how to make it, isn't it? It's easy to make filter coffee. Even a duffer like me can do it. You get the required amount in your thing. You pour it into the bucket thing in the back of the filter thing, don't you? You make sure you got your filter paper in the thing, don't you, where the coffee goes, and you sling your coffee in. In this case, it'll be a tablespoon of this and a tablespoon of that, which will make 2 coffees. If you want more than that, you just, it's to taste. There's no right or wrong way. You could put 3 of these in, and just 1 of these to taste. You could put 1 of these in and 3 of these to taste. Do you know what I mean? You could have it up to the thing 6 cups. In fact, makes 2 large mugs, right? Do you know what I mean? You trial and error with it, and it ain't rocket science. If I can do it, why can't you? You can do it. And that speeds up your metabolism like you would not believe. So if I'm doing an early workout, this is what I do. I get up. I just like carbonated mineral water. I just like it. I find it more interesting than still. They cost about dirt cheap. If you get them in the big pack of 12, they work out about 30 pence for a little 500ml bottle. Again, we get them from Lidl's. Cheap as chips. Cheap as chips. Get yourself a lemon. Get yourself a lime. Cut 1 lemon in half. Cut 1 lime in half. This is to making 1 bottle for 1 bottle. You will have had your mineral waters in there chilling overnight. It's 5:30 in the morning, right? You're going for an early morning workout. You go to the fridge. You've got your cut. Use 1/2 of each. 1/2 of the lime, 1/2 of the lemon. Put the other 2 halves back in the fridge of the lemon and the lime. Open your lid up. Squeeze. I would squeeze actually because you don't want it going everywhere. Squeeze into a little glass. 1/2 lemon. Squeeze in 1/2 of the lime juice, you'll have about 10 mil. 10 mil. Now, the fructose levels in that amount is diminutive, something like 0.01, nothing. You pour it in to your carbonated water. Okay? Slice off a little bit of lemon, put it in. Slice off a bit of lime, put it in, and you consume it. The first thing upon waking, you've woken up at 5:30. The first thing that you have, you let it go into the system. This kickstarts your system. It is extremely beneficial for your liver. Very good for hydration. So you'd go and pack your kit bag, get dressed, get ready for the gym, for your early morning workout. Your coffee is being made and you drink your coffee. This stuff made out of this, this stuff optional. And in fact, I have been known prior workout to have like a little beaker of just black coffee, and by the time it's gone through the filter, it's sort of lukewarmish. It could go into the microwave to heat it out, but I don't, and it's okay enough to take down, to drink down. Okay. Don't have your carbonated water then straight after your coffee. Leave it about 10-15 minutes. You wanted to get to the gym for an early morning workout between 5:30 and 6. Okay. So, you want to get up, I don't know, 4:30, something like that. Then you go to the gym. Now, we have told you ways to work out which actually is retrograde to what all these high intensity mob are saying. We want you to get stronger. Ladies, don't worry, because of body recomposition. Ladies will not naturally grow massive, great big thighs. So don't worry. What you'll get is, through body recomposition, your fat will go off you, incinerate off you, and you will be left with the most shapeliest legs that you can imagine. Ready for your holiday, looking $100 million. Okay, we do not push the boat out, but we are definitively working up systematically, scientifically. Each week we are working up and up and up and up the weights, getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And then on the 6th week, this is optional, with our new weight that we are weight training with. For example, in the back squat, we say, right, we've gone from starting off weight 60 kilograms, and in the 6th week, we've almost doubled to 120 kilograms. We are now going to test out and do 20 rep breathing squats. So what I'm trying to say to you is, your weight training workouts should undulate up, hard, down the weight, up, hard, down the weight, a little bit, up, hard. Each wave, you are increasing your strength levels. With your strength levels, you'll get stronger. As you get stronger, your muscles will get larger. Don't freak out, fighters in weight categories. Don't freak out, females. Okay? Through body recomposition, because you're losing fat. You're losing body fat. You're losing body fat. You're gaining muscle, but you're losing body fat. Ladies, you'll get super toned. Fighters, you will remain at your weight, but you'll be able to punch through concrete walls. What I'm saying to you is, you restructure your strength training so you do not take your... I've only really just learned this, and I can tell you, I'm a living example. I'm a living example. Proof is in the pudding. I'm not lying to you. I'm telling you the truth. That intensive weight training will raise your cortisol levels. Undoubtedly. I know what you mean. It is a good for de-stressing and all the rest of it. But if you're patient with our method, okay, if you're patient with our method, your strength levels will be climbing. You will not be pushing the boat out to failure, absolute failure on your sets. So your cortisol levels will be down, but you'll be getting stronger. How cool is that? Did these others tell you this? Do the other fitness people tell you this? Do they tell you all about this? Show you this? Do they? Do they say, oh, this is stuff to have if you want to taste it up a little bit? There's a little bit of sugar in it, but minuscule. They tell you about the lime and lemon drinks? They don't, do they? They're slightly to one or the other. And we're marrying it all up. Body, mind, and spirit. Body, your training. What you're putting in. Your mind, your way of thinking, and spirit. Mind and spirit. How do you deal with stress? It is all interrelated because the two hormones that raise the what? Mean you will hold on to belly fat, insulin and cortisol. Insulin and cortisol. And I can't change that. If I could have a magic wand and change it, I would, but I can't change it. And it's just a fact that you've just got to get your head round. You've got to get your head round. Am I in or am I out? And if I'm in, you then got to get your head round. I'm not going to be a stress bucket anymore. I am going to make lifestyle changes, which incorporate intermittent fasting. And I've showed you a way to do it. That coffee excels over all the rest. The CGAs in this stuff will speed up your metabolism through the roof. Through the roof. You will literally see. Oh shit, I can see it. It's evaporated from the very area that you want. And I'm telling you, if you are honest to yourself and you do the things that we have advocated for the last 45 minutes in this video, you will lose body fat. But you've got to make the decision. I cannot impress that more. You've got to make the decision. Lifestyle changes. Has to be lifestyle changes. You cannot do this half-heartedly and expect you'll see results, because you won't. I'm telling you that now, you won't. So I've given suggestions here, which are just suggestions. You might decide that you are going to do it differently, and that's absolutely fine. That's absolutely fine. I've given you a methodology that is working for me. So if it works for me, it could work for you. But then again, it might not. The important thing is to get your nut around. You must make lifestyle changes. And that is right the way across the board, from exercise, diet, and de-stressing. Now, the final thing, which is like the cement to all of this, is adequate vitamin D. And here, us Brits, we have some horrendous weather. We'll get some sun and we all go out like mad dogs and Englishmen, don't we? And we go and get ourselves burned, don't we? All that's required is skin exposure for first thing in the morning when it's sunny for about 10 minutes. Now, I'm quite pale. I do go tan. I do have to get a base first, but I do tan. But it's dependent on melatonin levels, isn't it? If you're a black person, and I'm talking about black, dark black person, you will be able to go out in the sun with your skin exposed and go out for 20 minutes. If you've got the Celtic complexion, the blue eyes, the lighter skin, you are not going to be able to match your mate that's the black guy sitting out in the sun getting the rays, are you? It just, you can't do it. But it is sunlight. Have you ever come back from a holiday and you've looked, you thought, cool, I look tighter? Oh, that's because I'll be doing lots of swimming and stuff in the sea, in the swimming pool and all that. Where I would be relaxing, watching the TV or being out walking. That might have something to do with it. You're not stressed when you're on holiday. That might have something to do with it. But the cement of it all is sunlight, vitamin D. Now, if you do live in the climate of the UK, we're a bit stuffed, aren't we? Because in the winter months, what do? Enter in vitamin D supplementation. Now, I might be talking to an 8-stone female. I might be talking to a 22-stone, 6'9" Hulk. Again, vitamin D supplementation would depend on the female, 8-stone female, petite female, to the 20-stone, 2-stone, 6'9" Hulk. The 22-stone fitness Hulk is gonna need substantially more vitamin D. And actually, this is where going to get your bloods tested, going to get your bloods tested to see where your vitamin D level is at, which I think for most people needs to be over 70, you know, kind of, you don't know where you're at. But vitamin D supplementation. Okay. If you implement all those things that I've told you to do, I guarantee you will incinerate body fat off you, which will include incinerating belly fat off you. It's a biological impossibility for that not to happen. So chill out. Chill out. You can do it. You can do it. It can happen for you. You can reach your goals. Be encouraged. You can. But you've got to make that decision. Am I in or am I out? And if you're in, you've got to go for it full throttle rather than half-heartedly. And you will get the results that you are after. Okay? So, thank you for listening. No call to action on this one. Cliff Graves, Train More Boxing. Speak to you again soon. Ciao.